All right, my friends, welcome back. Still January, still early in January. We still have a few things more that we need to do. Let's see, for one, we should go to the store and get some chickens. And we should go ahead and get our goats as well. That's about all we can do for the moment. And I need to pause for a minute so that I may check my notes. I'll be back in a moment. Okay. I need to get 125 chickens. And I need to get 8 goats. And you know what? I just realized this goat pasture is not going to be big enough. Okay. Well, let's see what we can do about that. We're going to need about 100 goats. Okay, give me a minute while I go shopping. All right, so I ended up going with this one. It will handle 153. Will handle 153 goats. Costs 3 times as much as the original one, which is crazy because in the description it says, the other one says it will do 100. But it only supported 53. All right, well, back to the original plan. We need to go get some chickens, and we need to get some goats. So where? Oh, up by the house. I'll park my truck. The truck of many colors. All right, we'll see you down at the store. Alright, my friends. I'm back at my driveway. I just went by the shop and I picked up a animal transport trailer. Kinda looks a little rickety, but I think she'll hold it. So now we're going to head down to the animal dealer where we can start getting our chickens and goats and all that good kind of stuff. How do we get in here? Over here? All right. What does the animal dealer have for us? Oops. Be careful what buttons you press. All right. 24 chickens. I can only get 24 at a time. All right. We'll head back to the farm. Drop off our chickens and come back for more. Well, this is the biggest problem with playing on a 4X map is just how far every... Ow! What the heck? And they're just gonna go right on by and nobody's gonna stop? Jeez. I'm not used to talking while playing, so if you have long periods of silence, I apologize for that. I'm trying to learn to do better with that. This will be my second episode. Hopefully the volume will be better this time. I've tweaked some of the settings in the recording software, so I maybe won't have to tweak as much in the editing. Alright, let's see if we can get up this driveway without losing control. Okay, maybe I shouldn't have said anything. Okay. I might need to think about getting a snow blower or a some kind of oh, this is one of those things where you gotta back it in. First trip. Four more to go. Alright, I'm not going to torture you for all these trips. Unless something super crazy happens, I will see you when I deliver the last ones. Alright, here we are coming back to the house with the final trip with the last 24 chickens. How many goats do I need to get? I don't remember. Check my notes. Just need 8. I think I'm just going to pay the delivery charge. Maybe. All right. No meadow. See if we can get the store to deliver us some hay. All right. Looks like we're going to need to plant sorghum in April. I really want to plant barley, but barley we can't plant until September and not harvest until the next year. So we're going to have to plant a field of sorghum for the first year. So it looks like we just need to move forward. I think we've done all we can do for the month. All right. Obviously, no honey. Let's see what's going on in the greenhouse. It's still good with water. We've got strawberries, tomatoes, and lettuce. How are we on water over here? I got water. And we got some mushrooms. Okay. How are the goats doing? Ooh. Did not know that they spawned right there. That could be a problem. And chickies. Chicky wickies. Ooh. Half a pallet. Moving right along. Well, now is where the work begins. We need to get in the tractor and start cutting grass. And here we go. Unfortunately, this is not a field, so we cannot use steering assist or, well, we couldn't use a worker anyway. Yeah, so my goal is to get as much of this grass cut, turned into hay, and have it available to feed the goats and the calves when we get the cows. Alright, friends, as you can see, I have almost finished cutting the grass here. Man, it took a while. Looks like it's going to have quite a bit of grass too. Alright, there we go. Let's go put the mower away. And switch out for the windrower. If anybody wants to take a guess at just exactly how much grass got cut here, you can leave it in the comments and I'll trust you that you don't leave it in the wait till the end and see what the amount is and leave it, because where's the fun in that? New Holland windrower. Turn it on. Lower it down. Oh, come on. Yes, it would be very, very nice if GPS would work on non-fields or the driving assist. It would make it so much easier. I've gotten so spoiled to that. You know, it's just one of those nice things to have, you know. Keeps you going in straight lines and maximizes your efficiency by making sure you don't overlap too much and all that. But, you know, you do what you gotta do. And I missed a spot over there. I'm not too worried about getting everything. Normally I am. My OCD kicks in and it's got to be, everything's got to be cut. It's got to be straight. It's got to be perfect and all that kind of stuff. But for right now, I mean, anything I can get out of this is going to save how much I have to produce later, which maybe will mean that I can put in a smaller grass field than what I think I'm going to have to. And we'll just have to see how all that works out. And as you can see, this is going to take a while, so I will probably jump cut this. And bring you back in when I get almost done. But before I do, I kind of, while I was mowing, I had to stop. I was working on it last night and it was getting late and I was getting tired and I didn't want to, kept like steering off. So I stopped the recording and stopped it, and then I came back this morning. But my daughter had to go to school early to finish a test she didn't finish yesterday, which meant my youngest had to go too because, well, one can't do what the other is unless the other does it too. So normally at the time that I'm recording this, I would have wrapped up a full recording and been done with it. I normally do my recording in the morning after the kids leave for the bus stop, because that's when the house is the quietest. The two older boys are still asleep, and since the youngest are out of the house at that point, then all I have to do is just drink my coffee and do my recordings. As I think I've mentioned before, I work as a software engineer, and I am very, very fortunate that I can do that from home. And on top of that, I live in Houston, and the rest of my team is in Canada. The main office is in Calgary, so the rest of the team is kind of spread out in a couple of different areas. But what that means for me is that they are in a different time zone than I am, so even though our Houston office would start work at 8 o'clock in the morning, I don't usually start till 9 or 9:30, and I just looked at the clock and I have a 10 o'clock appointment and it's 9:40. So I may have to put a pause in this recording. I will have to put a pause in this recording and come back to it, unless my meeting gets canceled. Well, I paused the recording to go and look at my schedule, and I was mistaken. My meeting is not till tomorrow. So I should have enough time to finish this up before I have to get knee deep in alligators with work. Thank you guys for sticking with me so far. I mean, this is my first, now second video, and you know, I enjoy doing this, so I'm going to continue doing it. And like I said before, maybe having you guys watching will help keep me accountable, so I'll actually finish one of these and not get frustrated because it's not just the way I want it, or that's my big problem. I'll start something and it's like, if it doesn't come out just exactly the way I want it, then it's not like a rage quit, but it's like, okay, I'm going to start over and do this right this time. And I'll do that about 2 or 3 times, and then I'll watch another YouTube video of somebody and think, oh man, that's a cool concept. I want to do that. And then I'll quit the one I'm doing and go on to something else. I think out of the hundreds, possibly thousands of hours that I've played this game, I've only completed one, I guess you could call it a playthrough, where I achieved the goal I set out before starting. And it was pretty satisfying to do. I just would like to do more. And once I get the hang of the recording and the editing and get everything just the way it needs to be set up, then hopefully I will be having more than just the one series at a time. I already had an idea about kind of a homestead, not so much of a challenge, but just kind of a casual homestead kind of a playthrough. And I was just kind of working out some of the details in my head, and the biggest thing I got stuck on was, and this is what I like about what Crestu did with his challenges, the goals of how much to produce and what you need to produce and stuff. That was kind of in the same lines of the what's. I noticed somebody on his Discord mentioned adding clothing as the third year, and that was something that I thought, I mean, could be a completely self-sufficient type of farm. To have, I think there's a mod called Granny's Knitwear or something like that that produces clothes, or at least fabric. And I thought about something like that, no cotton. Cotton's a big, expensive harvesters and that kind of thing. But the sheep and goats are easy to care for. They just need grass. So that for the dairy part. Chickens, cows, for beef cows, and pigs. Plus a garden for food. And the preserved foods and those kinds of things. Those were all kinds of things. The bread, that was all stuff I was thinking about, but just I couldn't I was having trouble coming up with, just how to quantify what needed to be produced and how to manage that kind of thing. I was even thinking about creating a mod that would, like a modded house that could take those have requirements of supplies and take those in. I don't even know what I would like to do with that. Would be to have it to where basically you could like set the family size and it would figure out how much each month that would need to be spent, and would spend that money like a drain would, and then you would have you'd be able to deposit food into it that would then counter that charge, and that would that way you could kind of keep, you wouldn't have to sell the stuff, you wouldn't have to kind of keep it, it would just kind of adjust how much extra food you had to buy that you didn't produce. And different products could have different amounts that they would provide towards your food budget and stuff like that. I mean, I don't even know if that's possible. It sounds pretty complicated. I don't know if it's possible. I mean, I'm almost be willing. I mean, it would have to be a PC only type thing. It definitely would not be a console mod. But I think it's something I'm going to look into. I mean, I don't know if y'all have ever seen the VIP order manager, kind of I mean, that's kind of doing something to that effect. It's creating these random lists of supplies that you can sell and get bonus for. So something like that would be able to modify something up like that to do. Yeah, juices are flowing now. I'm thinking. I could just create a like a input spot, a drop spot that you could place by your house. Just place the marker on the ground and drop your supplies off, and it would keep track of it. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to do that. That's another thing I've been wanting to do, is to take a stab at doing some mods and getting one on Mod Hub. I've edited quite a few. I've learned some things just from the editing. I have the Giants editor for editing and stuff, but I just haven't taken the time. And one thing is, I'm not a very artistic person, so I really, hats off to those people who create those really beautifully rendered houses and barns and all that. Now I can take those pieces and arrange them and put them into something and optimize the code behind it and do stuff like that. You know, write the scripts and modify the XML files and all of that, but I'm not that great with the artwork. When I have to do user interfaces for the software that we work on, that is always a pain because it bogs down, because you had little minor tweaks. Let's change this color. Oh, let's move this over 3 pixels. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, I can, straight up write the code. Okay, we're about to over torque the drill bit and we're going to twist it off in the ground. So let's stop. That's easy. That's just reading data and doing math calculations and spitting out control signals. Of course, I'm sure to people who don't do that kind of work, it's just like crazy stuff to them. So that's why we have teams of developers. I even tried my hand at creating some work on a physics engine for a game, but one person doing that, it gets really complicated really quick. Alright, it looks like we have finished. Doesn't look like a very good job of windrowing the way they just like clumped up, but that's probably because it's just meadow grass. Oh wait, I don't put this over here. Wrong barn. I really hate to waste this grass and just plow it under. Especially with this challenge the way it is. I mean, I'm kind of trying to approach this as I would in real life. I live in a rural area, and if I was quite a few years younger, then I probably would be doing something like this in real life. All right, we're going to take a break right here. And then I will come back and we'll do some more work. I don't know if this is going to be the end of the episode or if we'll do some more. I still need to go to the store and get my free silage additive that I can put in the forage wagon when we pick up the grass. So probably do that, and I'll see how much time has been accumulated on the recording, and then probably call it there, and then pick up the grass. I may do the picking the grass up off camera. That's probably what I'll do. Anyway, thank you guys for hanging out with me, and if I don't see you in a little bit, I will see you in the next episode. Thank you, and have a really good day. And I will see you later.